where tonight we're going to go a little more in depth, go through the top 14 picks of the lottery, and kind of give a thought on who we think is going where, maybe a reason why, and just, something along those lines. So the first pick in the draft, for those who follow the NBA very well, Timberwolves. First pick, had an awful season. Kevin Love leaving, knew it was going to be very bad. Timberwolves, first pick. What are you guys thinking? I think we're just going to go each pick, say who we want. I mean, you don't have to go very in-depth. Paulie, who are you thinking Timberwolves take number one?
I think Towns. I think we talked about it last week, too. Towns is very complete. He really fits what they're trying to do out there, and you put him with Andrew Wiggins and Zach LaVine and even my boy Pekovic. They're going to have a good team next year.
Yeah, I like Towns, too. I think him and Rubio could run the pick and roll well together. Yeah, that could be a good young team at some point.
Yeah, and I agree. Towns, number one. I think he fits better than Okafor. Towns going to be able to space the floor a little bit for Wiggins and Shabazz Muhammad, so they could shoot a little bit, spaces the floor. Okafor, you can't do that as much. Towns has a better ability to shoot from about 15 feet and beyond. And Wiggins, and now if you're worried about a post threat, Okafor, obviously the best post player in the draft, but Wiggins and Muhammad can both post up, down low, a little high, low action. I think Towns is the number one pick in the draft. Second pick, Los Angeles Lakers. It's weird. You usually don't see the Lakers having to rebuild, but the last 3-4 years it's been a struggle. Nick, who you thinking goes number two?
I'm thinking it's an obvious Jahlil Okafor. And you're right, they haven't had to rebuild in a while. And honestly, if Kobe somehow reincarnates his career next year, the Lakers could be making a run deep in the playoffs. With Okafor, Randall, Kobe. They need a point guard, though. I don't know who they're going to pick up as a point guard at some point. But I'm saying it's rare. They're probably not going to go deep. But let's say the Kobe of old shows up. You never know. Okafor is going to be he's NBA ready right now. He's got the body for it and everybody. They always talk about nobody's got the NBA body right out of college. He's ready.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be Okafor. I do think Okafor is probably the best offensive post player we've seen in the draft in at least 5 years, if not longer. He's got great hands, great feet. He can go either way, either hand. He's exceptional. I think that's an easy choice for the Lakers.
I agree totally. Okafor is not going one because Towns fits better in Minnesota, so he's got to go number two. And then L.A. just getting another franchise player. I mean, how many have they had as a franchise? Too many. So they just got another one in Okafor. 76ers have the third pick in the draft. They got a lot of young talent. They can go a lot of different ways. I think a lot of people are leaning between two players. Who are you guys thinking?
I'm going to go with D'Angelo Russell. He was superb in college. Played way better than a lot of people expected when he was the go-to guy at Ohio State. I think he could definitely be the go-to guy with the Sixers, too. I mean, Joel Embiid will be back by then, and Nerlens Noel. They still have Nerlens, right? Yeah, so they'll have Nerlens and Embiid, so he'll be able to work with two bigs, but the man's a scorer. He can get buckets. I think he's a really good candidate for Rookie of the Year next year.
No, absolutely. I think he can pass unbelievably, too. But yeah, I'm going with D'Angelo Russell, too. They really like length on the Sixers. You got Nerlens, you got Joel, and D'Angelo Russell's got a ridiculous wingspan. I think he's like 6'9" or 6'10" or something. He fits really well there.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. I think he's the best offensive guard in the draft, and the 76ers need offense. They were the worst offensive team in the league last year. He's going to be able to come in, get his own. He's going to make his teammates better. That's just the type of player he is. So Russell's got to go third to the Sixers. Fourth pick, the Knicks. A lot of discussion. They brought Phil Jackson in to try to revamp this team, and we'll see what they do. I'll go first. I'm going to say Moutier. You got to go Moutier. He understands the game well, and he's an ideal point guard for the NBA. Not a lot of people who don't follow basketball as avidly know about him because he's playing overseas. Didn't play in college, so a lot of people didn't get to see him. We'll see what he does. I haven't really seen him play a whole lot, but from what I read and a few highlights that I've seen him, he looks like a beast. He's going to fit well into any NBA team. But I think that's who the Knicks need to take. They could go a lot of different ways, but I think Moutier is the option.
Yeah, I'm going to say Moutier too, because in this league you need a point guard to win, obviously. You look at the teams that are still in it, Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving. I mean, the Rockets are in it, but granted, James Harden's been playing point guard, basically. But yeah, Moutier's after Russell, he's the most franchise point guard left in the draft, I see here. He's huge. He's big too, really big. Yeah, 6'5" point guard. I mean, we talked about the NBA-ready bodies. That's what you want right there.
With the Knicks, they need best available that's not a 4 or 3, whatever they're going to put Carmelo at. And I think that's Moutier. But I wouldn't be surprised if they trade out of it. I heard immediately after the draft lottery that they're already open to trade offers to move down in the lottery. Maybe with a team like the Magic. Well, not the Magic. No, why would they move up one pick? Detroit or Charlotte trying to move up farther.
Knicks could do a lot of different things. What they do, we'll see. 5th pick in the draft, the Orlando Magic. Once again, in one of these teams with some young talent, just trying to build, get some young pieces to try to help and build on the team. What do you guys think the Magic do?
With the Magic, it's kind of like the Knicks. I guess you got to take best available, and that's Justice Winslow. They do need a 3. He might be a little bit undersized at 3. I think he prefers to play the 2, but they already have Oladipo. They got Alfred Payton at the 1, and they got Aaron Gordon down low too. So that could be a really nice young team. They got a ways to go. The Justice Winslow though could be a good.
Yeah, I agree with Winslow, too, with the best available thing. He had a good tournament for Duke, and I thought he really stepped up, and that raised his stock, definitely. But, yeah, I think he's the best fit for the young Magic.
I'm going to go with my European player. Kristaps Porzingis is my best pronunciation. Don't know a whole lot about this guy, and I know he's a stretch 4. He's your typical NBA 4 guy. He's going to be able to step out. He can hit the 3 for you. If he's able to go into Orlando and bring some athleticism down low, which he's going to have to work on a little bit, I think he's really going to fit in well. The Magic haven't had a big guy since Dwight Howard. They got, who's in there, Nikolai Vucevic or whatever, and he's not bad. But they need a big guy to step in there, maybe stretch the floor a little bit because Gordon not able to. I think he's their best option. Going 6, Sacramento Kings. I'll go first this time. I'm going to go Willie Cauley-Stein. I know you two don't really like that pick. I think he's underrated. People are kind of hyping him up more than he should. I think he's the best overall defender in this draft. Paul doesn't agree, but I think he is from what you saw in college, and I think he's going to be able to develop a better offensive game than people think. So I think he goes 6.
Yeah, okay. The Kings are not going to take Willie Cauley-Stein. It's stupid. All right. Well, anyways, here I would say Stanley Johnson's a really good fit for the Kings. They drafted McLemore a couple years ago, but he really hasn't worked out. Rudy Gay's going to play the 3. Evans is going to play the point probably, and then you could have Johnson at the 2. That'd be a nice compliment. And they got Rudy Gay at 3 and DeMarcus Cousins. DeMarcus Cousins is a superstar in the making right now. So I mean that could be a good team.
Stanley Johnson wouldn't be a bad pick, but I think they go with Trey Lyles. They need somebody that can step away from the hoop a little bit, and I think Trey Lyles did that a lot for Kentucky last year. Also opens up the lane for Boogie Cousins in the middle to make his own.
Moving on. Where are we at here? Here we go. Number 7, the Nuggets. Nuggets are one of those teams 7 years ago, constantly in the Western Conference playoffs. Last few years have been struggling. They got their young superstar in Kenneth Faried. What do they need to do? And Ty Lawson. What do they need to do to build on this team a little bit?
They need a 3 badly to take away from Ty Lawson and Kenneth Fareed. So that's why I think Stanley Johnson fits perfectly with them.
Yeah, okay. Right here, I think they might take Willie Cauley-Stein. I don't think they have a true center necessarily right now. Willie Cauley-Stein's not a true center. You're right. He's not offensively a true center, but he's a good defensive presence down low for them. Honestly, I think he's gonna be the biggest bust in this draft. Like, he screams bust. He just changed his name to Willie Cauley-Trill or something like that. Willie Trill Cauley-Stein. That's not a good decision, young man.
Moving on to. Oh, did I even do my pick? Oh, I'm sorry. I'll go do this quick. Another European guy, Mario Henziga. That's not pronounced right. Best shooter in this draft. That's why the Nuggets have to take him. Moving on. So next pick in the draft, number 8, the Pistons. I think this is where they go Justice Winslow. They're going to be surprised he's still on the board. They take him here. They need an athletic 3-man, and he's your best option.
I completely agree. They do need the athletic 3. I had Justice Winslow going already, so I have them taking Kelly Oubre out of Kansas, a very good athlete. They have a great point guard play in Detroit. They have good centers, and Kelly Oubre would kind of be that missing piece for them.
I agree with Oubre as an athletic 3 for them. You know, Oubre, he really didn't do much at the beginning of the year, but he came on as of late, and I think that was really big for his stock.
Moving on, number 9, New Orleans Hornets. What do you guys think? Oh, or maybe Charlotte. Well, when you don't make the playoffs they were just in the playoffs a few years ago. I don't know. Let's go Horns pick.
It's really a toss-up here. I'm saying Miles Turner, just best available. They got a lot of needs down there in Charlotte.
Yeah, Miles Turner's a good fit. He run the pick and pop with Kemba. That would look nice.
Yeah, I'm going to go Stanley Johnson. He's on the board at this point. He's your best option. He can hit shots at the 3, and he is the best perimeter defender in this draft. Hornets go Stanley Johnson. Moving on, 10th pick, Miami Heat. They need to do something. They got to go best available, in my opinion. I believe Miles Turner's still on the board at this point. I think he's got the potential to be a beast on both sides of the floor. I think that's who Miami has to go.
I think Miami, I don't know. I think they kind of try to go big city, big lights, either Cauley-Stein or Devin Booker. Maybe not a smart pick. I don't think either are going to be NBA superstars, but they seem to be the pick that the Heat would make.
Yeah, I can see them trading out of this pick or something because there's not a lot going to be available here that they could use. Maybe Devin Booker because Dwayne Wade's era is coming to an end there. He's getting older. It's a good guy for Booker to learn from. Booker had a good year last year. I mean, small sample size because he didn't get as much playing time as he would like to see from these guys, but he's a good shooter.
Moving on, 11th pick, Indiana Pacers. What do you guys think?
Bobby Portis. Do we all agree Bobby Portis? He kind of fits with the Pacers prototype. He plays a lot like David West. He fits well for them.
I'm going to say the same thing. A lot higher than I think what people would have expected. A lot of people have Bobby Portis going like 15 or lower. I think Indiana goes a little risky and takes him.
Yeah, I think you compare him to David West earlier. Yeah, that's a good comparison, but he's not going to be nearly that good. I think he's highly overrated.
But you have him going 11?
This is a weak draft to me. Weak draft, so I mean, it's just going to be a toss-up. There's probably going to be trades all over the place. There's going to be surprises.
So moving on, number 12, the Utah Jazz. Jazz, the last few years, have always had lottery picks. What they've done, they got a lot of young pieces. I think you see my guy, Frank the Tank. He's a guy the Jazz would pick for sure. And I think he fits perfect with Dante Exum. I think him and Gordon Hayward are able to stretch the floor for those guys, let Exum be able to go to the rim. Because that's, Exum is 6'6" guard. He's so athletic. Then they need a guy like Kaminsky who can play the 4-5, sit in the corner, let Exum go to work. And if the guy helps, kick it to Kaminsky.
We're on 12. I think they go best available. I think Trey Lyle's still here at this point, so they just go with him.
I agree with Kaminsky. He looks like he lives in Utah, let's be honest.
I could agree with that. Last 2 picks of the lottery, Phoenix Suns got rid of Gordon Dragic at the end of the trade deadline. I think Devin Booker's on the board. This is the best player, I think. I think he's going to be the best shooter overall coming out of this class, even though I think my boy Mario going to the Nuggets is the best guard shooter. Booker's going to be the best. He's going to be like the next Klay Thompson, I think, shooting-wise. I don't think he's a smart kid. He's going to learn how to play defense the right way, but I think he's going to be the best shooter down the road coming out of this draft.
Yeah, the Thunder. Yeah.
13? 13 is the Suns.
Yeah, 13. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I think they take Frank the Tank right here. I think Frank's more of a Phoenix guy. He needs a nice tan. He's been up in the Wisconsin mountains with a lot of snow of late.
The Wisconsin mountains.
Yeah, what mountains are up there in Wisconsin, Nick?
The Cheese Mountain.
Nova Scotia? That just sounds like a...
I got the Suns taking Sam Decker. I think he's just a really good player. You can't deny his competitiveness and what he's going to bring to the table for them. They need a guy like that.
And with running out of time, the last pick of the lottery, the Thunder. What do you guys think?
DeLon Wright.
R.J. Hunter. They needed 2. They haven't been the same without James Harden.
I think it's either R.J. Hunter or they go Sam Decker. Risky, but they needed 2. Decker can play the 3. Playing the 2, that's risky. I think he can do it if they need him to. Our first part here. Thanks for listening to the Crossover Report. For Nick Damiani, Paul Lamb, I'm Neil Doyle. Thanks for listening.
Are you investing in this?